Hi YouTube! First of all, I want to say sorry for how late this video is. I know I barely post anyway, but I originally planned to have this video out a lot earlier in July. I ended up getting super busy with, ironically, these character designs. I'm not sure if I've mentioned it before, but these are all part of my independent study class that I'm doing over the summer in order to get time to plan out my thesis a little more thoroughly. I had 9 characters to design, and I had to complete a certain amount of required hours, so it got a little intense further into the project I got. I literally just finished the required hours today. Plus, I'm still not entirely used to the YouTube format yet, so I think I was a little intimidated and just ended up putting off this video until August. Whoops. Like I said in the last video, this one is going to be about the primary antagonists of the series, Brooke and the Witch. Brooke is pretty much the stereotypical Queen Bee. She's the Regina George of my story. Everyone either hates her or wants to be her. She's at the top of the school's social ladder and dictates popular opinion with an iron fist. Brooke comes from rich parents who are, for the most part, neglectful of her. Because of this, she has free reign to do whatever she wants with little to no consequences for her actions. People say that Brooke only became the cold, distant person she was today after a sudden tragic accident that took her twin sister, Lily's, life. Quinn had been childhood friends with the twins, and later just Brooke, up until very recently, when she decided that Brooke had changed for the worse and was sick of the constant contest for her attention. Things didn't end very well on Quinn's end, to say the least. Brooke's friends aren't really close to her at all, with the exception of how close she used to be to Quinn. Her friendship is a front, purely business from her perspective, like hiring a bodyguard for social protection. She makes her friends compete for her affections and ranks them based on how useful, or gullible, or enabling they are towards her behaviors. Once their use to her dries up, or if they speak out against her, it's the ultimate social killer. She turns against people and directs others to avoid or even outright bully them. Being on her bad side is dangerous for someone's reputation. Imagine what would happen if someone like that had free reign in a fantasy world where you can do and become anything. Her style is mostly inspired by Y2K fashion. I wanted her to have the vibes of one of those popular girls from all the late 90s, early 2000s coming-of-age movies, you know? One of my concepts for her was even loosely inspired by Heather's. Luckily, Y2K fashion has been coming back into style lately, so I think her outfit definitely ended up with the inspiration while still feeling kind of modern. For her Nevermoore look, well, she's a queen bee in the real world after all. I couldn't not give her some kind of gown. Once again, I struggled a lot with the turnarounds for some reason. Later on, I figured out how to do the back pose properly. In my free time, I'm probably going to go back and fix it since it bothers me, especially in these earlier ones, but that will be much later down the line. The Witch. The Witch is a mysterious monster capable of powerful magic, a rarity in Nevermoore. She's an urban legend, the villain in a fairy tale story, and many of the townspeople in Nevermoore fear her. The truth is that she isn't evil. The townspeople fear her because they don't understand her. She's just scared, hurt, angry, and lashing out at anyone who she's paranoid might hurt her. She doesn't really want to hurt anyone. Not really. Her magic, however, is powerful, stronger than she can really control, and it responds to her feelings, which results in people unintentionally being harmed. Because of this, she is reclusive, hiding in the woods, only to come out at night to hunt for food. She's been alone for a very, very long time. Her design is inspired by a few things. I think the most obvious of which is the scary monster villains in various children's cartoons. The Beast from Over the Garden Wall and the Nowhere King from Centaur World are the most prominent, intentional inspirations for her design, but there are plenty of other examples of these sorts of characters in kids' media. Something about the juxtaposition of something meant to be for children having these horrifying, almost out-of-place, demonic-looking monsters is appealing, I guess. For Nevermoore, though, the Witch fits into the setting perfectly. Nevermoore is a very dark show with plenty of violence, so I think that the juxtaposition with the Witch is that her villainy is unintentional. A lot of Nevermoore's themes are about trauma, but also a lot of it is about the ways we harm each other. There's lots of questions of, am I morally just to harm someone who's harmed me, and what kind of harm is forgivable? Maybe that'll make the show a bit controversial, I don't know, but I like putting these questions into people's heads and getting them to think about it. But I think these two exemplify those themes perfectly. Is Brooke just in harming others because of her own personal tragedy? Are those people just in harming Brooke in return? Is Brooke's harm forgivable because she's a child? Is the witch's harm forgivable because she's acting out in fear? Is she just in killing the people who've hurt her? Just some things to think about. With that, here's the final designs. Thank you so much for watching. Got a little heavy at the end there, but I love complicated villains, and I hope you love these guys too. Speaking of love, thank you again so much for all the love you gave my last video. I wasn't expecting so many likes and comments. It's exciting to have people react to my work positively. I'm hoping to get the next video out sooner, but next time we'll see 3 more girls in the ensemble that I'm very excited to talk about.